Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Marc Show. On today's show, we're here with Ramsin and also Glenn.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about room planning, right, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
So when you're planning a room, where do you start? That's the biggest question for everybody, right?
Inspiration. I like to start with some sort of inspiration with something. So if we're talking clients, it takes a lot of interaction with the client to kind of get in their head. We were talking earlier with Glenn how I like to get people to go through magazines and mark things, and not just so we can copy the magazine, but just so pictures speak 1,000 words.
And specific pictures.
Yeah, so I can understand what is it you like about that picture. What is it that you emotionally connect with? Do you like the overall feel? Do you like just the table in there? Or do you like the how it looks like there's 2 chairs there and a sofa? Do you like the edge profile on the countertop? What is it you like? And all these little bits of information put a picture. They create this puzzle, and you start putting this puzzle together of who your client is, and that's the starting point. Now, the inspiration may come from one piece that they absolutely love. So then when you start sitting down with clients and pulling things together, they will connect with something, whether it's that coffee table they absolutely adore.
And do you find it's more color that they connect, or it's more furniture pieces, or is it?
Everybody's different. It might be a piece of art that they have that they just, that is their one treasure piece and they connect with, so that one may be the inspiration for the room, and then what you have to do is look at that and see what feelings you draw from that kind of spawn this room, right?
And Glenn, like where does your clients find their inspiration?
I mean, in much the same way, I think that you get them to help you, because often what clients don't have is a vocabulary to be able to say, this is what I like. So they may say, I really like modern design. And
they don't know what they like about modern design.
Or they don't really know what modern design is. So you show them something that is truly modern design, and they go, oh, that's too cold and too stark, and I don't like that. And you go, oh, so what you really like. So by helping, because there are so many magazines and so much that they can look at and get a vocabulary from, by taking that away and getting them to go through things to say, this is what I like, and talk about why they like it. What that does for me really is form a picture in my mind about what it is that they're looking for, what they're hoping to achieve out of this room.
And the end result is more what they're looking for, simply because when you're able to actually draw that inspiration from the client right on the first meeting, it's a lot easier that way, right?
True. And I also think the other thing that's very important is to help them understand their lifestyle. So, you may have a client who's in their late 50s, their kids are all gone away, and they have, a small lap cat, and they're looking at things that appeal to them, and perhaps those choices are good. You look at somebody else, and the wife is about to have a second baby, and they already have a toddler, and they're looking at something
functional.
And you say, it's beautiful, it's not going to work for you. It's going to look beautiful for about 3 hours until the baby vomits on it.
Like the minimalist look for families, that's...
Where's everybody going to sit? The television is going to be an important part of your life. So let's not pretend that it's not going to be because you happen to see some great thing on page, 92 of whatever magazine that you love.
Canadian Home Trends,
for instance. And
that's a big plug there, right?
Yes. And if you if that's the thing, you go, I want it to look like that, and you say it's very beautiful, but it's not going to work for you. Also, I think it's important to help clients understand when they look at sometimes the images, because having, for both of us, having done photo shoots for magazines, it's, you shoot a bathroom for 10 hours.
Oh, it's staging. It's staging.
It is staging. But you know what you're saying is clearly what we're trying to say is, first you have to identify the function of the room. You can't do a design if you don't have a connection with what the function of that room is going to be.
And that's a lot of getting to know the client and what their needs are.
Yeah, and then you got to consider traffic flow. How do you interact with the room? I mean, you look at this room, and I've got 2 chairs there. There's a reason for that. I want this room to be inviting. I don't want to put a sofa that right away psychologically blocks you from coming into this room.
Yeah, and you trip over while you're coming in.
Well, exactly. And you've got some leeway here that you can walk through there, here, around. It makes it inviting. You can come in, you can access it. Coupled with that, you got to look at the function in the way of, is there a TV? How does that TV interact with the room? I hate making a TV a focal point. And then what? I sit this way, the TV's over there, so now I got to turn the couch this way, and everything gets dictated by that TV. No. You want the TV experience? Take a room, and Glenn and I were talking about this, take a room and identify it as a media room. It doesn't need to be a theater. Theater's a big word. Make it a media room, somewhere where everybody, the family, can get together on a regular basis.
It's more casual as well.
Movie nights, yeah. And then have a TV in other rooms that maybe as you're in that room with guests, or if you're cooking in the kitchen, you can watch the news, or you can just catch your show that you like, but it's not the TV experience.
Perfect. So it's all about functionality meeting design,
Absolutely.
right?
And
Agreed?
I mean, it's also our job to understand that there is a specified distance between the edge of the sofa and the edge of the table, and all of those dimensions are based on the shape and the dimensions of the human body.
Yeah.
So you know that beyond a certain distance, I'm not going to have a comfortable conversation with somebody in that chair if that chair is beyond 8 feet away from me. And those are the kind of things that your designer will really help you work on.
Perfect. Well, that's great tips. Thanks, Ramsin. Thanks, Glenn.
Pleasure.
Well, that's our episode of the Marc Atiyolil Show. We'll see you next time for more design and decor tips.